Folks, good morning, good afternoon. The Earthmaster here on this Wednesday, February 16, 2022 date, about 11:40 a.m. California time, so still morning here. A little windy outside, supposed to be right around 70 degrees today here. Latest quake on the globe, a 2.8 earthquake out here in the big island of Hawaii. Latest quake there on the globe. Let's go ahead and talk about some solar weather activity ramping up here over the last 24 hours. A massive, huge, and they got the wording right here, huge FARSIDE explosion. Something just exploded on the far side of the sun, and it was big. CME recorded a magnificent coronal mass ejection emerging during the late hours of February 15th. Pretty significant. You can see the massive structure there that CME produced as it exited the sun. The CME will not hit Earth. It is moving away from, not toward our planet. However, such a CME did strike. It could produce a very strong geomagnetic storm. We may have dodged a bullet. Seems like that's kind of like the common theme, the common way it happens, I guess. Seems like these CMEs always miss Earth, but one of these days, in fact, when did that happen? Back in the 1800s, we had that Carrington event, pretty massive event there with a flare. So it's just a matter of time before that does produce a significant CME and flare in our direction. Stereo A, which is the spacecraft, observed a plume of plasma shooting up from the blast site. It was more than 400,000 kilometers long. Holy smokes. Let's see, what caused the explosion? By analyzing vibrations on the sun. What do we got? Huge active region, it looks like. Sunspot group on the, kind of like on the far side. This is only the second far side active region of this size since September 2017. If this region remains huge as it rotates to the Earth-facing side of the sun, it could give us some exciting flares. I like when they use that word, exciting, because it is pretty exciting, right? See solar weather activity kick up. Based on the current location, the far side sunspot could emerge into view over the sun's northeastern limb about 4 to 5 days from now. So stay tuned for further updates on this solar sunspot activity. Either way, that's a pretty significant event there kicking up. Looking at the solarham.com website, shows the activity in the green as far as recent and the coming nights here on the geomagnetic forecast. Solar flare threat remains somewhat elevated, 70% chance of C flare with an M flare at 20%. So right now, all things calm on the Earth side. And as far as the auroras go over the next few nights, there's that CME once again. That's a pretty massive one, significant. What these guys are saying, one of the most impressive space weather events of solar cycle 25 was observed. Yeah, pretty crazy. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on this for sure. Let's get back to earthquake activity. Just wanted to cover that real quick. Earthquake activity ramping up here on the west coast. Movement up and down the state of California and off the San Andreas fault zone right here on the Pacific side of the plate boundary. Got a little bit of activity near the Santa Paula area, and also Santa Paula area down at 16 kilometers below surface, pretty deep into this zone here. This is a thrust fault. And up here in the San Simon area, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I think I slaughtered that once again. A 3.0 at 6.5 kilometers off the oceanic fault zone, it looks like. Nothing specifically on the San Andreas Fault until you get up here along the creeping section near the Santa Cruz Mountains. Continued earthquake activity out here in Nevada. There's that 4.7 from yesterday with a little bit of aftershock sequences there, microquakes around the region overnight. Movement up and down the Sierra Nevada along the eastern edge. Still pretty quiet, not a whole lot going on. We are seeing a little bit of uptick along the Garlock Fault system here, the shear zone. Right smack dab on it, we're seeing a little bit of activity kick up here in this area. Fremont Valley, quite a few ones and whatnot kicking up in this shear fault system. Southern Cal, go ahead and check out this latest earthquake here, 1.2 near the San Clemente area, just off the coast it looks like there. No specific fault zones that I can see on here. Pretty close to the Pelican Hill Fault, looks like. a couple other smaller fault systems just offshore within that region. Intermountain West, Utah kicking up here a little bit around Cedar, Utah, and some activity outside of the Yellowstone region. Looks like Hebgen Lake area. Checking out the Yellowstone overviews here of that movement. Shows the Yellowstone area pretty quiet. A little bit of microquake activity around the Maple Creek region, but overall things pretty mellow and quiet in that area. Down south, along the Middle America Trench, not so quiet. Had a 6.2 earlier this morning, way earlier. Pretty deep earthquake into this region. It was felt around the area. I guess it caused a little bit of landslides and some light damage around the region from what I'm getting at. 6.2 into the Middle America Trench. Of course, this area has been seeing a little bit of deeper movement here over the last week or so. Everything looks green as far as the pager, ground failure, and liquefaction features there. Pretty green anyway, according to the USGS. There's the fault plane solution showing the subduction of the zone there of the Middle America Trench. Looks like a little bit of aftershock sequences there following that 6.2, roughly around the same depth there into the Middle America Trench. Looking at the last 7 days of activity kind of shows you this general movement prior to the 6.2. Seen some spread out activity here indicating that deep subduction zone movement kind of brought in a broad area leading to that further larger earthquake down dip into that Middle America Trench. So kind of keep an eye on that region pretty closely. I don't know if we're going to see anything further in that region, but you never know. 6.2 it can get larger in that Middle America Trench region. Hawaii, what do we got there on the Big Island? Some movement out around the Loihi Seamount, it looks like, stretching out here. Nothing significant going on really to report. Latest quake of 1.9 up outside of this swarming region, and a little quake activity around Mauna Loa. Tonga region, some movement. What is this? I can see the square out here on this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but seeing a little like an open window, but it's invisible. It's kind of odd. Movement around the Tonga area. Looks like a 5.0, pretty deep at 30 kilometers below surface, just to the southeast or southwest of the Hunga Tonga volcano, which is right here. A little bit of activity down into the Kermadec Trench and also around the Vanuatu area, stretching through Papua New Guinea. Meanwhile, Japan Trench and the Kuro-Kamchatka Trench all pretty quiet. Some activity out here in the South Africa region as well. Just outside of the Johannesburg area, looks like a 4.2 striking earlier at 5 kilometers. South Sandwich Trench area also getting in on a little bit of activity as well. This kind of bugging me right here. When I click on this, I can't move the map, so I don't know if you guys can see this. It's like a little square box, like an invisible one. A little odd. 5.5 at 35.3 kilometers into the South Sandwich Trench area. Let's see, tremor map last night was pretty small, not a whole lot going on. 9 epicenters into the Northern California area there in the mountains, or I should say down dip into the Cascadia. And let's see what else we got here. Not a whole lot elsewhere. Puerto Rico, a little bit of movement as well, but things calming down in that region. Looking at across the states, one little earthquake here once again on the New Madrid zone, 2.2 kind of at the northern end there around Missouri. Let's see what else we got here. Just kind of watching things at the moment, folks. 6.2, still kind of leading me to believe to watch the West Coast for further activity, but kind of exactly hard to say at the moment where things are going to hit next. No magic ball to produce that location, but we do kind of look at swarms and recent deep activity during in subduction zones to kind of maybe pinpoint where we could be seeing some further surface rupture. All right, folks, I'm going to jump off here. Not a whole lot going on today, but I am kind of monitoring the live stream currently. Everything looking good so far. As far as the numbers and the, well, no issues. I better knock on wood. Things looking pretty good at the moment when it comes to the live stream. So make sure you guys subscribe and whatnot while you're here. Solar, what do we got here on the solar flux chart? Man, that would have been actually kind of cool if that CME was kind of Earth directed. I'm not even joking. I don't want it to destroy Earth. I just want to see some some auroras down to the a little bit mid to maybe lower latitudes. I think that would be really cool. Which is possible. You never know. We get a significant flare and a massive CME like that one produced, and could have a little bit of action down here in the States, especially at the mid latitudes. But anyway, it'd be kind of cool. That's all I'm saying when it comes to wanting exciting solar weather. All right, guys, have a good day. Stay safe out there, and of course, be prepared. A whole lot going on out there. Peace out.